The Thompson family was a picture of simple happiness. John, a loving husband and father, cherished his wife Mary and their beautiful tabby cat Whiskers. They were a family bound by invisible threads of love, laughter and shared moments. Mary, with her infectious laughter, was the heart of their home, her warmth extending to every corner, especially to Whiskers, who adored her gentle touch and playful spirit. Whiskers, with his soft plush fur and mesmerizing green eyes, was their furry companion. He was always there to greet them with a gentle purr and a rub against their legs. John often found Whiskers curled up beside Mary, a testament to their unique bond. Their home resonated with warmth, a haven filled with the comforting aroma of Mary's baking and the melodic purrs of their beloved Whiskers. Evenings were for shared stories, gentle strokes on Whiskers' back, and the quiet contentment of being a family. John would often watch as Mary, her eyes twinkling with affection, played with Whiskers, their laughter echoing through the house. Those were the days of pure, unadulterated joy, days that would forever be etched in John's memory. Life was perfect, their home a sanctuary of love and companionship. They were a family, inseparable and deeply connected, their love for each other the most natural thing in the world. Little did they know, a storm was brewing, one that would shatter their peaceful world, leaving behind a void that seemed impossible to fill. Then, one chilly morning, the unthinkable happened. Mary, the heart of their little family, was gone. A sudden illness had snatched her away, leaving John and Whiskers lost in a sea of grief. The silence in the house was deafening, a constant reminder of the laughter and warmth that had vanished overnight. John moved through the motions of life in a daze, his heart heavy with sorrow. The loss of Mary was like a physical blow, leaving him gasping for air in a world that suddenly felt cold and empty. His eyes constantly searched for her familiar figure, his ears strained for the sound of her voice, but all he found was an echoing silence. Whiskers, too, felt the absence of Mary acutely. Gone were their playful chases, their quiet moments of shared affection. Her absence was a gaping hole in his world, a source of confusion and deep-seated sorrow. He wandered the house aimlessly, his plaintive meows echoing through the empty rooms, searching for the warmth of his beloved companion. The house, once filled with Mary's vibrant energy, now felt heavy with grief. John moved around like a ghost, haunted by memories of his beloved wife. The scent of her perfume lingered in the air, a painful reminder of the love they had shared. The world seemed to have stopped spinning, leaving John and Whiskers adrift in a sea of grief, their hearts united in their shared loss. As days turned into weeks, John noticed a change in Whiskers' behavior. The once affectionate cat had become withdrawn, his purrs replaced by an unsettling silence. He would slink through the house like a shadow, his emerald eyes, once sparkling with mischief, now clouded with a deep sadness. Once John tried to coax Whiskers onto his lap, hoping for a moment of shared comfort, but the cat pulled away, his ears flattened against his head, a low growl rumbling in his chest. John was taken aback. Never before had Whiskers shown any sign of aggression towards him. The rejection stung, a fresh wound on top of his already broken heart. John couldn't shake the feeling that Whiskers blamed him for Mary's absence. Perhaps in the cat's eyes, John was a constant reminder of the void left by Mary's passing. The thought was like a punch to the gut, intensifying his feelings of helplessness and grief. Evenings, once filled with the comforting rhythm of Mary's voice reading aloud, were now shrouded in silence. John would sit in his armchair, a book lying open on his lap, while Whiskers remained curled up in a distant corner, his back turned as if in silent accusation. The house, once a sanctuary of love, now felt heavy with unspoken blame and the palpable absence of Mary's warmth. A deep sense of guilt gnawed at John. He felt responsible for Whiskers' sadness, convinced that he wasn't doing enough to fill the void left by Mary. He tried everything he could think of to win back the cat's affection, hoping to ease both their pain. He bought Whiskers new toys, his favourite treats, even a scratching post that resembled a miniature tree. But Whiskers remained indifferent, his sadness a constant weight on John's heart. One evening, as John sat by the fireplace, the flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the wall, he noticed Whiskers watching him. Their eyes met for a fleeting moment, and in that instant, John saw a flicker of something deeper than just sadness in the cat's emerald gaze. Was it accusation? Longing? He couldn't be sure. The image of Whiskers's sorrowful eyes stayed with John long after the cat had retreated to his solitary corner. He realized that his attempts to appease Whiskers were more about assuaging his own guilt than understanding the cat's grief. He was so caught up in his own pain that he had failed to see Whiskers's suffering. John knew he needed to change his approach. He decided to stop forcing attention on Whiskers and instead focus on simply being present, offering a comforting presence without expectation. He continued with their daily routines, his voice soft and soothing as he spoke to Whiskers, acknowledging his presence, sharing his own sorrow, letting the cat know he wasn't alone in his grief.